How much did I spend in 2022 on all of those different things? Now the final number is, wow. In the past year, I've been training and competing full-time, all in the bid to gain my first ATP points. In total, I've played 23 tournaments throughout the calendar year, 12 of which were in different countries. Now throughout that process, I managed to obtain 3 ITF singles pro points, ranking me 1488, and 7 ATP doubles points, putting me at 1632 in the world. I competed in 6 different countries all around the world in ITF Pro Circuit 15 and 25k events, all to gain those ATP points. Throughout the year, there were so many ups and downs, good wins, tough losses, a shoulder injury which set me back, and to cap it all off, an elbow injury now, leaving me to have a surgery. But now let's get straight to the point. How much did I spend this year? So to make it easy, I've broken it down into 4 categories: tournament costs, training costs, equipment costs, and any extras that might have happened throughout the year. I'm gonna break everything down in detail of what I spent my money on to hopefully give you an idea of what someone like myself actually has to spend to make it. Also, all of the numbers that you see in this video are up until the end of November when I stopped playing tennis for the year, so just bear that in mind. So let's start off with tournament-related costs. These are any costs relating to me traveling to a tournament, the hotels I'm spending, a hire car perhaps to travel in between tournaments, food that I'm having at the events, as well as any other like entry fees or miscellaneous costs that I will incur playing these tournaments. Now, like I said, I played 23 events throughout the year, 12 of which were abroad and 11 of which were in the UK. So let's start off with the hotel cost. In total, I stayed in 57 nights in hotels in the UK and abroad. I'll list them up here, what the split of that is. An average night for a hotel is $125. Now, in total, that comes out to $7,125 on hotel rooms. I mainly stayed in the tournament hotel at the venue, meaning I get a discounted price, and also comes included with usually breakfast and dinner included. So it's a pretty good rate for exactly what's going on. So now we have flights. Traveling to and from tournaments abroad from the UK is not too easy, especially during COVID time. However, in total, I took 14 flights to and from tournaments and also in Europe to tournaments. Now each flight came off to around $200 per flight. Most of the tournaments that I was playing, I actually got in just before the entry deadline. So it was usually last minute, which means the prices go up. So in total, I spent $2,800 on flights for myself throughout the entire year. Now, a lot of times, especially when we were in Spain, we used a hire car to actually get from the hotel to the venue of the tennis because the shuttles didn't go regularly. We wanted to maybe go to a supermarket and get some food. So in total, we've calculated around 30 days / train tickets throughout the time with an average of $80 per use, which comes out to $2,400 on travel within Europe, basically. So of course, I played 23 tournaments throughout the year, and of course, every tournament has an entry fee. It's usually around $35, which comes out in total to $690 on entry fee. Now, as well as that, I'm also gonna have to eat at these tournaments, so I'm gonna have to consume food. Of course, that's gonna be a little bit more than it usually is because you're competing, you're playing. I'm gonna include it here because it's obviously something we actually spent when we were at the venue. So we roughly spent, like I said, 57 nights in a hotel, let's say 60 days abroad. On each day, I'd spend maybe $20 on food, snacks, water, hydration, all of that type of stuff, which in total comes out to $1,200 on food. So that's the tournament sections done. This is the total amount I spent on tournaments, travel, all of that type of stuff. Pretty big number, but I think that next year it should be bigger, hopefully, because I play more tournaments. So obviously when I wasn't playing tournaments, I was training, or I was injured, but mainly training at the beginning of the year. So let's talk about training sessions. These are squads that I was having in the UK, which you've seen me in some other videos playing in, where I'm playing with other players, with a coach who's gonna give me advice based on my game, or play sets and obviously have a coach watching to pick out some points that I need to work on. Overall, I had 96 sessions throughout the first part of the year, an average of $28 per session. That was $2,680 in total spent on coaching sessions. Now, let's talk about one-to-one coaching. So as you've seen throughout the year, I've had 1 or 2 coaches, and in total, I haven't actually had as many lessons as you might think. I've had 5 lessons, which I've had to pay for. The other ones were when my coach was watching, I was hitting with someone else. In total, the average cost of a session is about $35. So the total cost for my sessions was around $200 on the higher end throughout the year. So not that much spent on one-to-one coaching. You guys have recently seen I've just taken on Ashley, the tennis mentor, as my recent coach. I'll leave a link to the video where we announced it in the description down below. Now onto an interesting topic, which I think is very much overlooked within the kind of the tennis world, is the physio. Now the physio is probably one of the most important people, or has been for me, over the past year. So I definitely think that this year was a lot about learning, but also about learning about my physicality, what I need to do, what I shouldn't do, as well as learning about injury prevention, really doubling down on the work that I had already been doing, but doing it more on the right things and focusing on the right things. But I'm waffling now. Let's talk about how much I've actually spent on physio. So in total, during tournaments and at home, I've had about 50 physio sessions throughout the year, kind of in total. The average cost for a physio session is around $75. So in total for those 50 sessions, I spent $3,750 on physio, because you can never cheap out on your body to keep yourself in the best physical shape possible to be able to compete and train and work really hard every day. So on from the physio, let's talk about the gym, something I've been really working on over the last year, especially over the last 6 months to a year, where I've really been focusing full-time on tennis. Now, I have a gym membership at the local gym. It cost me $100 a month. So for the last 11 months, it's gonna cost me $1,100 in total. So category 3 is gear, equipment, all of that type of stuff. Of course, I'm fortunate enough to have some sponsors who have sponsored my journey throughout the past year, but let's talk about the stuff that I actually had to pay for out of my own pocket. So first up was tennis shoes. I particularly like the tennis shoes that I've worn. Keep it consistent so I don't have any issues with changing shoes. In total, I've probably worn about 17 pairs of shoes throughout the year. On average, I get them for around $75 on a special website as a professional player, and in total, that cost me $1,275 for my tennis shoes. There's on-court and then there's off-court as well. Running shoes, I bought 2 pairs this year, around $100 a shoe. Cost me $200 so I can do my off-court running, that I can wear on a day-to-day basis that are comfortable. And finally, we've got resistance bands, weights. I probably bought like 5 units worth of bands and stuff on an average of like $20 to $30 per piece, let's say 25. So in total, around $125 on bands. So on top of the things that I bought, I was fortunate enough to have some equipment sponsors throughout the past year, helping me with gear, rackets, clothes, stuff like that. So in 2022, my clothes sponsor was Biddy Badu. They were kind enough to give me all of the equipment in terms of clothes that I needed throughout the past year. Now we've moved to Fantium, which you guys have already seen. However, I'm super excited to be working with them. We're gonna be creating our own clothes. Unfortunately, not for sale for you guys from what I'm aware of. Now, of course, let's talk about rackets and strings, usually something that costs quite a lot of money. We're fortunate enough to partner with Dunlop, who have given me my rackets. I play with the Dunlop CX200 for the past year. I've really enjoyed it. I've stayed with the same model for I think 2.5 years now. And of course, you guys have seen me training at the Mouratoglou Tennis Academy. I was fortunate enough to get that sponsored 1 week by Dunlop Tennis and 1 week by Mouratoglou themselves. So thank you for the ability to go and train there. I really enjoyed my experience. So let's get to the final figure. So the final number is $26,378, which for me in the UK was £22,110. So one question you might obviously ask yourself is, how was I able to afford this? So thankfully, due to the Road to 1 ATP Point project, which you guys seem to have loved, we've grown over 110,000 subscribers in the past year, which just literally blows my mind. The support on the series has literally been crazy. I can't thank you enough, not only for helping me to live my dream and support the videos that I'm creating for you guys, but also for leaving comments on every video, being super involved with my journey. The ways that we make money through the YouTube process is through, of course, YouTube ad revenue, our devoted members that pay a monthly subscription cost. Thank you to all of the YouTube members. Sponsors like I mentioned before that pay me throughout the year. However, throughout the last year, there were a lot of things that I want to change and will change. First being my team. So next year, I want to put a real focus on building a team that's going to help me develop and play my best tennis, and that I can have a coherence with, that's going to be with me throughout the whole year. Of course, that's going to mean the costs are, however, going to increase. So next year, I'm going to be spending more on my team and investing in myself, as well as, of course, playing more tournaments. And of course, creating more awesome content for you guys. However, the main focus will be on picking up ATP points, both in singles and doubles, progressing up the rankings and showing that journey with you guys. And with all that said, it would mean a lot if you could subscribe to the channel if you enjoy these types of videos and if you're excited for the amazing content to come. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.